Hey everyone, Tyler here at The Movie Beat, back with another video, and this one is going to be some film recommendations, as well as I'm going to be sharing and showing off some of my favorite Korean movies that have arrived on some kind of limited edition format that I own. So it was kind of a tough pick, but I think these picks that I've settled on really show the broad range of just what is possible when it comes to bringing us a limited edition package. You know, anyone who's been following, the Korean home media industry for a while now might know that really back in the early days of, early 2000s when they were bringing out DVDs, this was one of the places in the world that was early competing with home streaming type downloading, watching it on your computer. So people really did not have a lot of motivation to buy DVDs, or Blu-rays weren't even there yet. So this was like the home of innovative ideas for bringing an awesome, sweet bonus editions, limited editions, special editions, packages to make it worthwhile buying and making it really fun to own. So in the early days of DVD limited editions, really anything was possible. And so any new movie that came out, there were just countless creative packages that we saw. So recently, when it comes to like Blu-ray collecting, a lot of the special editions, limited editions are fairly similar. Got the full slip case, we've got maybe an extra disc of special features, some postcards, things like that. But when it came to DVDs, everything from the packaging to the texture that it was made out of to the included goodies and things like that, it could have been anything from like a plaque, film cells, signed things. It was just so fun. So I picked 10 of my favorite that I personally own. There's so many out there, and anything that I'm going to show you today does not include what was on my must-own Blu-ray list. So I do want to kind of keep these fresh, so anything that was on my must-own Blu-ray list would easily make this list, most likely if it was a special edition or limited edition that I showed you. So I am, keep those in mind. Anything on there is one of my favorites for sure, but these got 10 completely new picks to share with you, and I'm going to start with my runner-up, which was The Throne here. This is the Blu-ray of The Throne, released by KD Media, and the reason that this is one of my favorite limited editions here in Korea of a Korean movie was this full slip case. So I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick this up, but the way that they put these ropes on here with the texture and everything was so unique. I really hadn't seen that on a full slip case before. So KD Media really nailed this case, and I always love these little bands, paper things that they include. Inside, it did have a nice book here. It was basically the screenplay all in Korean, so not really international friendly, but a cool thing to own. I always love when they change up, get some new look for the keep case, the art. This was definitely one of my favorite films, Korean films, the year that it came out. This, got this envelope here with really, really high quality image cards from the film. I do have on my Instagram a shot of this film just spread out, all of the goodies included, so you can check that out. But The Throne is definitely one of my favorites. I do hope we see more unique full slip cases that are kind of like this in the future. So let me know if you guys have this one and what you guys think about The Throne KD Media Limited Edition. For me, it is awesome. All right, so it's time to begin the official list, and the first one I'm going to start with is maybe an odd pick for a lot of you guys, but for me, when I saw that Novamedia was going to release a Kim Ki-duk film, I was really one of the more art house type filmmakers here in Korea. One of his earlier films from, I believe this came out in 2000, The Isle, on its signature Amare series collection, I was so excited because not only is this a great thing to have, it's such a unique kind of art house filmmaker on a major like collection label that includes films from like Tim Burton, Robert Rodriguez. It's got like American Hustle, all that good stuff. But I really thought that this was marking the beginning of releasing older Korean films on Blu-ray. Unfortunately, it did not actually pan out that way, and there are very, very few early Korean films that have actually found their way to Blu-ray. But this is one of them, and it was just an awesome pick, and I love the design. I love the texture on the full slip case. This is, definitely a movie not for everybody, but it just makes me feel so weird when I watch it, and there's a lot going on in it. Visually, symbolically, artistically, this is one of his best films in my opinion. And if you know about the Amore series, not only are they numbered, mine was, there's 700 copies of this one in total, but they included a number of goodies, and I liked the postcards that are included. There's always a book, and these little books, kind of smaller than most because they have to fit inside the Amore case, but very high quality. Love the shots inside. Usually an essay. There's English as well. So these early Korean limited editions did have a lot of English translations of the essays that were included. So if you can see here, this is the English essay here. I was blown away that the fact that they even released this and picked this as a title. These were some of the character cards that are included. I keep mine in kind of like a Polaroid photo album that I got. So these are the ones from the aisle. So the Novamedia Amore series and the Steelbook collection did have those kind of collector's cards that came with it, but again, just a fully loaded limited edition package. It comes with a book, postcards, case, collector's cards. I mean, this alone would be worth the limited edition, one of my favorites, but how about to pick that as your cover? Pretty brave, and for that to go out on the shelves, I love it. It's definitely a if I could have all of the room that I could choose a face-out title on your shelf. So The Isle, Kim Ki-duk, really one of my favorite Korean limited editions. Again, it sparked the possibility that some of these older Korean films were going to come out. Didn't turn out that way, but hey, there's still time out there. So Blu-ray people, companies, let's go. All right, one of my next favorite Korean movies that have found its way to a limited edition is Inside Men. Okay, so this one, the reason it's one of my favorites is not only do I love this full slip case and the texture that it came in, it just felt so good to own in hand. But when you open this up, it just looks classy. It's beautiful. This was released by Showbox that hasn't actually done that many limited edition packages. This makes me wish they did a lot more, but one of the things that I love about this home edition is, that book aside, this is such a sweet book. I love the color, just that sunset just pops. This is extremely high quality pictures inside this booklet too. No English, but I love this book, and if you're going to include a lot of pictures, I'm not going to be reading it anyways. Just give me the pictures, and I'm good. The thing that I loved about this edition was it included not only the theatrical edition, the theatrical cut of the film, but the original version, also known as the director's edition, which I think we need a lot more of, especially if you're going to be making more of these original director's cuts, this black and white version, the color version. Give us both so we don't have to buy it so many times. So I really love the fact that this has both cuts. This actual envelope that came with was unique in the fact that the number for the limited edition is on the inside here when you open it up. So that was kind of cool. I guess you can't really pick when you're browsing at the store, but it keeps things fresh and exciting not knowing which number you got. there was a possibility for lucky people that one of these amazing, really some of my favorite art cards or character cards or film cards that were included in this set, you could have got one of these signed if you were lucky. I was not lucky, did not get one of them signed, but the thing that I love about these is not only are they super high quality, but the back, this was based on a kind of a graphic novel or a comic. They have the comic version of the characters that are in this. So I loved that you could see both of the actors that played that role and sort of what they looked like in the original comic. So, you know, instead of just giving me some random shot that's included in all of the publicity and things like that of the film, we actually get some really nice designed cards with the title of the film on there and, you know, creatively showing us something unique on the back. So this set, this probably was one of the cards that could have been signed. I was really hoping for. So I think this edition of Inside Men is a great example of just what is possible and kind of the typical standard limited editions and just that step above for quality and signature speciality that they might have with their release. So hope we can see more things like this. If you're just going to go the standard, you know, keep case, booklet, full slip, what else? What's going to take it over the top? What's going to give it that special little kick? And I feel like this edition did have those qualities to give it that special little kick over the top to make it just an awesome limited edition to own. There is another cover here of this edition as well. Anyways, moving on. All right, we're with Plain Archive now and their epic release of Train to Busan double feature with Seoul Station. This was just such a unique, smart way to release this as a double feature. This film, these films did come out at the same time. They're connected. It's just genius how they put this thing together. It's a steelbook with one of the best designed steelbooks that I've ever seen. On one side, one cover is the Seoul Station, and maybe you can see in the light there is a handprint that I believe glows in the dark. So that is awesome. We've got the Train to Busan cover on the other side. Again, there is a handprint in there somewhere. You might be able to see if I can get the light shining right. But an epic steelbook design for a double feature, you know, with the dueling covers there. Inside, whoa, stacked. I mean, oh my goodness. We've got Seoul Station. We've got the original motion picture soundtrack to Train to Busan and Seoul Station. I love when you include the soundtrack in the limited edition set. We did see a lot more of that with Korean DVDs in the early days, but some Blu-rays, Korean Blu-rays, have included the soundtrack, which I loved. Again, here we've got the special features to Train to Busan and the Train to Busan movie disc. So 1, 2, 3, 4 discs, 2 films, a steelbook, and that's not all. Of course, with Plain Archive, many of their releases include an awesome envelope. This one I love with was it a donkey or something there? The bloody donkey envelope. Amazing cards included here inside. This is Train to Busan. Again, it's not just some random publicity shot. These are, you know, black and white, artistically designed, and very looking good. And then I love these Seoul Station cards. Got the blood red styling there. How cool is that? It just fits the theme of the movie so well, and just Plain Archive nailed it on that front. And that's not all. It's got the dueling cover booklet, Train to Busan, Seoul Station, inside. This one actually does have English and Korean in it. Awesome pictures, awesome quality. This book alone, I feel like, could be sold at a pretty decent price, and a lot of people would pick this up. You know, it's little, so people might judge it a little bit differently, but if this was at the bookstore, you know, somewhere out in front, this would be a hot item, in my opinion. So this alone is amazing, this little book here. Seoul Station, Train to Busan. It doesn't get much better than this, folks. Okay, next on the list was an amazing, perfect inclusion in, actually a surprise inclusion on the Novamedia exclusive Steelbook collection, which was generally a lot of mainstream films like John Wick and Begin Again, things like that, Drive. But the inclusion of Park Chan-wook's early film Joint Security Area blew my mind. I couldn't have been more excited. This is one of my favorite Korean films ever, and it really was one of the early ones that I saw that hooked me big time. Some of the great Korean actors, my personal favorites. Maybe I don't think I just picked these because of this film, but this film really, you know, people ask me who my favorite Korean actors are. I'm like, you know, Lee Byung-hun, Shin Ha-gyun, Song Kang-ho. I'm like, these are my guys, and they're all in this film together. So if you take a look at this amazing full slip design here, it is also a steelbook. So to ever imagine that I would own this film on a steelbook, I couldn't imagine it. And this made my dream come true. It's limited edition. There was 2,000 copies. There's a lenticular version as well. There might be two lenticular versions. But the steelbook was pretty cool. It's got some embossing, booklet again. Because this was part of their steelbook collection, it does have English in it as well. 5 ways of looking at JSA and the mystery and all this stuff. Awesome booklet with Korean, English, great pictures, Korean, English. Sweet. This film is finally coming out in Blu-ray, I believe, from... maybe is it Arrow? Forgive me if I'm wrong. Arrow Academy is bringing JSA out finally for European customers, but I believe anybody can be able to pick that up. We've got a single disc inside. We've got a bunch of decent quality photo cards. They've kind of been warped for some reason for mine. I don't know why. They seem a little bit warped. I don't know if I had some... Oh, that's nerve-wracking. Let me know about if your guys' postcards kind of turned into this. That's strange. But this disc actually was recalled. I believe there was a problem with the sound sync. For me, when I got my replacement disc, I noticed the sound being a little bit better in the whole mix, and especially with one song in particular that I remember just being a little bit higher in the mix, more pronounced. It did come through with more with this replacement disc. So not sure if anyone even noticed that or did receive that, but it is one thing in my memory for this release. But the fact that it's Joint Security Area as a steelbook with a full slipcase limited edition makes it one of my favorite Korean films that I've ever seen a limited edition release. So amazing job, Novamedia. Thank you so much. Okay, this next edition is the behemoth of my limited edition collection. It is unbelievable in so many ways. I don't even think I can show you this correctly because it is massive. This is the Snowpiercer CJ crazy box set edition that included the limited edition, but not only this box is stronger than anything I've ever met. It's huge, it's heavy, and inside there's this massive book, as well as, I'll show you, oh my goodness. This book is amazing. I have on my Instagram me flipping through this back. I don't know how you can find it, but it's on my Instagram. There is just a ton of stuff in here, and it starts with the history of Snowpiercer, Wilford Industries, tail section, Revolution, front, engine, epilogue, production notes. That's the table of contents there. But It's got awesome pictures. It's got some kind of like concept art. Looks like maybe a storyboard image, and then the actual shot that they made. So that together, really cool. We've got all of the actors, the character profile pages. So it's got, you know, where they're from, which section they live in, their name, date of birth. That's probably one of my favorite parts. This is not a shoe, this is disorder, this is size 10 chaos, this is death. And it's got the English and Korean translation underneath. Just, it's massive. This book is massive. It's got some behind the scenes shots. You can see some green screen there at the sushi bar. This book, I mean, really speechless when I saw this for the first time. Such an amazing book. It's mostly in Korean though, but it has crazy good pictures in it. And this also is included, whoa, these like blueprints for the train. You could open this up. I don't really want to open it, but it's nuts. I mean, it's like full detailed blueprints of every section of the train. Unreal. And then inside here is where the actual limited edition Blu-ray was kept. So I actually keep mine out of here because it's so difficult to open up all the time. But this is the actual Blu-ray that came with it. So it's a digipack. There is a steelbook edition of this as well. So pull that out. We move forward. 2 discs. This edition is insane. And there's no way that I could not have included this massive, massive limited edition set in my favorite limited edition packages, because there is really no other special treatment that you can give a film for home consumption in a package that could top this, in my opinion. Maybe you can come near it, but you cannot top this. So this is one of the best limited editions of a Korean film that I've ever seen. All right, the next limited edition that I want to show you is actually a DVD, and it's an old school DVD during the days when they actually were just so creative with bringing out different limited edition packages, and there were a couple that actually turned out like this, but this is one of my favorites. This is Antarctic Journal. Bong Joon-ho is actually attached to this one as part of the screenplay, but it stars Song Kang-ho and Yoo Ji-tae, and it was a very highly anticipated film that came out. But the fact that this limited edition, see, it's designed just like the journal in the film, which I love. So it opens up like the journal. You've got the actors there, super high quality. If I can show it well enough. Yoo Ji-tae, Song Kang-ho. It opens up to 1 disc, and it's got this special scenario booklet, which I'll get out. But on the other side, what a package! This material was included in, if you guys have the Il Mare DVD limited edition, kind of similar in how it was designed as a book that opened up. It's sort of magnetic in the way that it opens, but really kind of similar material, super awesome overall. This book is awesome. It's got some of the terms in the book, like POI, I think is where they're trying to go, the point of inaccessibility. They sort of describe it, and they have some real shots of the places in Antarctica where they go, as well as some behind-the-scenes shots and some candid shots. We've also got the screenplay here, which is really cool to have. And you can see on the back, Im Pil-sung, which is the director, Bong Joon-ho, Lee Hae-jun, so all of them have credits there on the script. This is a really interesting film. I really liked how it was kind of described, and when I posted this on Instagram, as sort of being a bad dream. And it does sort of seem like it's taking place in the mind of somebody who's very disturbed. And I loved the visual style of this film. One of the great cinematographers, Jung Jung-hoon, who shot a lot of films for Park Chan-wook. and actually shot the next film that I'm going to show you as well, but Antarctic Journal DVD limited edition. This is from Enter One. Really one of my favorite limited edition packages that I own of a Korean film. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts on this film. So next limited edition that I want to show you is one of the oddest, weirdest limited editions that I own. So I had to include it on this list, but it suits the film perfectly. Like I said with Antarctic Journal, just the design of the limited edition was like a journal. This one of the oddest designs, but it's one of the oddest Korean films you're ever gonna see, so it fits very well. And that is Sabo Girls, or the English title, Sabo Naughty Girls. What an odd, indescribable film, really. But this one was also shot by the great cinematographer Jung Jung-hoon, who worked with Park Chan-wook and everything. So visually, this film is extremely impressive. And as wacky and as bizarre as this film is, there is a lot of underlying topics and themes that I feel like are very important, very even relevant for today. I do feel like this is one of the early Korean films that came out that was way ahead of its time, probably still ahead of its time. But I think one day this film will get some appreciation that it deserves, because there are several films that you guys could track down as being like on lists of, oh, these are the worst Korean movies ever. You know, this one sometimes makes it on that list, and it really confuses me as to why. But it does, you know, it does have some dialogue that, viewed in one way, could be very cringy or in bad taste. But it's all on purpose, and it just works, at least for me. So this is a very weird one, guys. This is made with this is some kind of like fiberglass, or what would you call this plastic material. First of all, this slipcase was super strange. It's got some interesting texture on it, but it slides out the top, and to access the discs, you know, it's really sparkly. To access the discs, you have to open it like this, and then there's disc 1, and then if you want the other disc, you got to turn this thing around. It's really kind of clumsy there. It's really much greener to me on my end, but this would slide out again for disc 2 there. Just so bizarre. One of the weirdest limited editions, but it works because it's one of the weirdest Korean films. Let me know if you guys have seen this one, but definitely, what a weird limited edition. But they were trying everything back in the day. So again, what a idea, and wow, I don't know if it worked, but it is something, and I really like this limited edition of a Korean film. Again, I really want to show just the various possibilities, the types of things that you can create. I love the creativity that goes behind these designs. So again, that's one of my favorite limited editions. Moving on, this one is actually one of my favorite films as well as limited editions, that it is criminal that does not have a Blu-ray release. This is Crying Fist, Ryu Seung-won film, and it is, in my opinion, one of the great Korean masterpieces. But this comes with a hard keep case that's pretty sweet, and inside we have 2 individual digipack cases, or kind of like digibook cases, which are cool. First, we got the one character there, and then there's the booklet and the other one. So the actual cases are pretty cool, and they're skinny, but they open up to have disc 1 with the film and disc 2 with the special features. The back is really cool, fully designed. It's got a lot of writing on it and description about the characters. Got Got the scene selections there. I just love how each one of these were separate, because in the film, these are very unique, separate characters that come with their own baggage, their own story. They're just equally as important, and so they both equally deserve their own case in this film. So that was awesome. Again, good thought that went into the design. Here we've got the guide to the round. This was, again, a package by Enter One. One of the best books that I've seen. It's designed by Rounds, and it's got round one. It's talking about the actors, and so we've got the characters really. Kang Tae-shik, which is the character played by Chae Min-sik in the film. Got the coach there, I think. Got the other character. Round two. The people, all of the supporting characters, so all of the cast that is around these two characters, introduces them. Round three introduces the director of the film, Ri Seung-won. Here with the main actors, Chae Min-sik and Ri Sung-bum, director's brother. So we've got that. And round four, production notes. Round five, some important lines or big lines from the film and the scenes that it corresponds to. And the final round is the photo gallery. So one of the best books. I love the design of this limited edition package. It is DVD, so the Blu-ray that eventually comes out, I hope, is equivalent or better than this. Good luck in doing that, but whatever company brings out Crying Fist on Blu-ray, I guarantee you're going to make your money triple, quadruple over, because a lot of people out there love this film. It's a 10 out of 10 Korean masterpiece. I do have a little masterpieces video of that on the channel. I'll put a link in the description box below. You can check that out. It does have a lot of spoilers though, so be warned. All right, moving on. We're almost done. This is number 9. This is Suddenly in Dark Night. This is from the early Wet collection, as well as the DVD Prime series number 22. I loved the packaging on this one and all of the goodies that are involved, and to do something like this for an older Korean film, 1981, for a beautiful package like this, 4K, I believe it's a 4K remaster of a film from the early 80s, just count me in, and hello, let's set a precedent and let's get more of these out there. DVD Prime number 22, awesome booklet. Got the keep case here. I do have an unboxing video of this one on my channel. I'll put a link in the description box. You can see all of these goodies up close. So we've got the book. We've got these classic Korean horror film poster book. Again, I'll put the link for the unboxing video in the description box so you can get a good look at this. But Suddenly in Dark Night, I also have a review for this film on the channel. I'll put a link in the description box. One of the best Korean limited editions that you can get. Finally, this is a fairly recent film, but it is a monster of a release. Little Forest. There was a couple editions of this, but this is a mammoth of a release. It's heavy. It's fully loaded. We got the little dog there. The actors on the other side. Love that. There's another edition of this. I think this is Type B that I have. But the reason it's so heavy is because it is fully loaded with all this stuff in there. So maybe the most important thing for people, the Blu-ray comes in a nice, I believe that's a Scanavo keep case. This was also one of my favorite films of 2018. Disc. And a couple little cards here, kind of cool. I have a picture on my Instagram of this fully unboxed so you guys can get a good look at it, but it comes with the scenario book, which is like the storyboards, everything with some description in the scenes, as well as, wow, it is like the full storyboards for the film. Sorry about the lighting there. little forest, 280 pages. It's massive. But my favorite part is the photo book. So this has a lot of, I believe, behind the scenes, yeah, as well as this actor Ryu Jun-yo there with the director, and Kim Tae-ri, got the whole crew with the director there. So this photo book is amazing. If you're a fan of this film, this book alone is a must-own. Just beautiful, beautiful book. Great shots, and it's all photos, high quality color photos from the film. I love there with the dog. Last shot, we got the director with the lead actress Kim Tae-ri there holding a cake. Maybe someone's birthday or commemorating the ending of the shoot. Not sure. Whoa, so a little overwhelming, but those are my picks for some of the best Korean films that have arrived on some kind of limited edition home media format. I am a huge fan of anything marked limited edition, and when it comes to one of my favorite things ever, which is Korean movies, I can't help myself. So let me know what you guys think are some of the best limited edition packages that you guys have of Korean films, or really anything in general. Limited editions are awesome. Let me know if you guys have any of these, or what you would have liked to see in this list, or what you could add to this list. There's a bunch out there, OMG. As always, if you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. Let me know which direction to take the channel moving forward. Of course, I want to be making content that people enjoy as much as possible. So thanks again, everybody. I'm Tyler at The Movie Beat. Until next time, keep watching movies.